What's up, bro? Welcome to. Hi, fuck. We are here. I dropped this thing somewhere 2 weeks ago. It's a documentary on Mbokazi and what do they call Puso? But yeah, Mbokazi and Puso Dithejane departure or arrival, however way you look at it. But yeah, them going from the PSL to the MLS to Chicago Fire FC in Chicago, Illinois. Yeah, I do know some shit. But yeah, they did documentary 23 minutes. Been meaning to check it out, but again, that's for. But again, I forgot the word. Procra- procrastination. Procrastination is the main was just since they dropped, since I knew of it. So let's go.
This Chicago Fireside has a point to prove.
South Africa is over the moon about this young man.
Yes, we are. Wah.
Chicago is a city built on pride, work, and identity. That energy is starting to build again around Chicago Fire FC. After years of rebuilding, the club is entering a new chapter. With the team back in the playoffs, there's a new energy brewing. And as that energy grows in Chicago, another football story is rising, thousands of miles away.
Soba. We in the world. Split. Okay. We hear you, Chicago. Oh,
There's definitely something
No,
unique
guys, no.
about South African football.
Ish.
We have
What was that first clip? Because okay, I guess this is a reality of most football players from South Africa, but there was no need to show it like that. Like there's better angles you could have taken.
There's definitely
Because what the
something
fuck?
unique about South African football.
we have a different kind of football. You play a super football.
South African football is more about flavor, salt, and a little bit of water in order if you are so too much.
Don't
But
forget
if
Shugela.
we put barbecue inside.
It's our creativity, the way we express ourselves when we play, through the skills and everything, the flair. So I think that's one thing that represents South African football.
Like Spain, with their tiki-taka, same as Brazil with Ginga, Joga, and same
Joga
with
bonito.
the Dutch with total football. We also have.
There's a sense of style and flair that we play with, and it's something we learned in the streets. And there you're playing in small spaces where you need to be creative to be able to beat a man, and that kind of grows with us.
A lot of Brazilians come to South Africa and they feel like they can immediately pick up similarities. They were playing like Brazilian footballers. I think to someone who isn't used or accustomed to South African football, that's where I would place it.
To see someone who grew up in South Africa
Yeah.
playing football,
They
doing
can
it on
try
the
kind
big
of
stage,
snaps.
I think it's inspiring. It
It's
motivates
snaps
us to
from
also want to
Jimmy,
reach
kind
that
of.
level
But
ourselves.
not look to IQ. In the 2020, oh, ADHD.
Nna leina la ka ke Puso, ke goletse ko Christiana ko Northwest.
Shout out Northwest.
Ba e bitsa
We in the
like
world.
ke wo dia Africans ba e bitsa plus. So nje ke goletse ko plekeng nyane
Fana
fela
le
ko
plus, fana
Northwest.
le plus.
Ene le life e different go na le batho ba ba ntsi, but then e ntse ke tlala bolo ko primary ke le moinyane. Season ena go reng fela ke ne le focused mo ko TS Galaxy. Ke ne batla go achieve something ko TS Galaxy. Then go etsagala the time re tla le Golden Arrows ile ka thola like knock ka January. Yeah, ka January. Ke boela go TS Galaxy Valley. Ke thola call from chairman Team Sugas. Then I'm playing no Chicago Fire ya batla eng. Di ba so tete santse ke pake dilo tsa ke kutlung, ke se dilo tsa ka tseno kutlung. Ke a tsamaya no go South Africa. Then yeah, go etsa ka lantho eo. Ke fitla mo Chicago ke ya go plekeng ko apartmenteng ya ka entšha. Yaanong ke dutse ke le one ke reditse di pina yaanong gospel yaanong koreng go atlika man ka sheba view ya ka fela ke re hae man ntho ya se ntho e ke tlwaetseng go South Africa kore yaanong ke itsheba no le nna mo spilling yaanong ke ipotsa dipotso yaanong for entle ke wena o batla eng mo life a tlhaloganya then ke itsheba lo ke re ke be bona like uniform aga Chicago Fire like ni dutse mo beteng wa bo o tlile mo Chicago o tlo go dlala bolo.
Oh, shout out to Puso, man. Shout out to Puso. Puso is doing the correct things. He's a talent, of course. Because why would you sign him if it's not a talent? And bonus is from Northwest, which is where I'm from. Surprisingly, not surprisingly, but hey, sometimes I see things. So brace yourself. So yeah, shout out to Puso. And the story kind of reminds me of the first time I got to rest. Man, when is when you're alone, it really hits you. When Kisha like out the window and I saw that it was lived in Park Tower. So I get one of that tower hill, bro, the one that lights up. It was late afternoon, just for my sunset vibes. So you look outside and you look at the view, yeah, shit, this is me. Yeah, I'm here. What do I do now? You only confusion in Yana for my imposter syndrome sprinkled on top. Kore is a weird feeling and you can only like know it how we experience. But yeah, man, it's that feeling when you realize what you've moved up in life. That's the best way you can describe it. When you realize that you've moved up in life and you're moving closer to what you want or moving closer to your dream. Mara, hey man, it's a weird feeling. It's scary sometimes. Shit.
Igama lami Mbekezeli Mbokazi. Abangaziyo and futhi abazi umsebenzi wami bangibeza ngo TLP.
Uka. Uyize kamsebenzi. Kore, yaba ngichaza.
Kanye movie kingaphambili.
Shit.
Ngiqala ukudlala ibhola, ngiqale ukudlala emakhaya. Bengidlala emakhaya ama-tournament amancane. Iwona la ngikhulisile nami ngibone khona ukuthi uma ufuna izinto kumele uqale usebenze kanzima. Sadlala i-tournament e-Engine. Akusuka ama-team ungezwa ucoach Wanda, coach Mnguni esengitshela ukuthi hayi khona into ehlanganile. Mase sihlangana ngaqala ngajima kuMaZulu, angeza kuMaZulu. Ngajima 3 days. Ngasuka 3 days lapho ngaya athi ngasaya ngisa eThekwini eGoli ku Orlando Pirates.
Esmotini, salamele sela. Yes.
This is an institution of happiness. This is an institution that relates to the history of the country. This is an institution where historically people got their happiness and everything that was happening in the country before. That this was the only place where people could unite, the only place where people can get relieved of all the stresses and ailments of the country. It just proves that historically this club is not only a football club, but also an institution that supports the human development and nation building of the country. My name is Mbekezeli. the assistant coach of the very same team, Orlando Pirates Football Club. What pleases me is to see...
Shout out to Mandla, man, Coach Mandla, to be respectful. He has been the one consistency that we can point out in the changes that have happened in the Orlando Pirates like in the past 6-7 years, from when he was a co-coach with Ofadlu for the Davis, and then he was assistant to, I think after the co-coach it was Riviero, if I'm not mistaken. He was the assistant to Coach Riviero. Then when Riviero left, he stayed and became the assistant again to Coach Abdeslam Wadu. He has been the one constant that you think keeps a sense of normalcy to the people who have been here through all the changes. That the players like Kupandile Shandu, who recently left, and all those players who were signed to the Pirates back then and who have left in the past seasons, and those who are still there, he brings a sense of familiarity to them, or they know, or Coach Mandla is there, or whatever happens, he will be there, and we hope for it. He will be there for forever and ever. You can only hope and hope that goes your way, but hopefully someday something crazy bigger, but it's rare to find something bigger on Paris, but hopefully something bigger comes to him and we get to see him back as a main coach, because to be fair, we were not playing bad football when he was at the helm of Fat. It was just you know what happens in football. Here and there you hit a bump or whatnot, because they took us. I think it was them who took us to the Confed final. Yes, I think so. So we are not bad like that. We just needed a touch of something nyama or one. So yeah, man, this man is underrated. This is what I would say, very underrated for the, not only for the job, because he has to, other teams hire translators. Yeah, they hire translators for their coaches to bridge the gap between the coach and the players, but he has been there through 2 foreign coaches of one, and he was able to bridge the gap from what we see on the pitch and what we see behind the scenes, because now we have Bucks Camp, so we get to see some of the things that go on behind the scenes. So shout out Coach Mandla, you guys.
Young men from a rural area with all the challenges those places have, having an opportunity and taking the opportunity. Shared moments with him from where he comes from, loving his family, coming from almost nowhere, him joining such a big club, a big institution, becoming a captain, the youngest captain in the history of this club, doing so well in going to the national team in that short period, and now in the US. For me, it makes one proud, and also credit must be given to the wisdom of our leadership in them identifying him, that he could be the captain. You know, us being a nation and a country that was colonized, we always measure intelligence and leadership by the command of the language, English. But for our leadership to see that it doesn't matter, but his leadership qualities in the sport that he's playing is good enough for them to give him that leadership.
My name is Nkosinathi Sibisi, captain of Orlando Pirates, a central defender. When you talk about Mbekezeli, such a humble soul, you know, I had a very first encounter with him when we were still playing in our development ranks. From there, I took him under my wing, you know, because I could see the potential he had. I could see the person he was, you know, and actually coming from the same neighborhood and from the same province, you know, of KZN. I knew from the start, you know, that he was going to be something big, but he had to prove himself, you know, and within a short space of time, he did that. I think also I've been following some of his games there in Chicago. He's actually settled quite well, you know, he's doing well for himself, and very, very proud of him, very, very proud. I think
It's busy, man. Besides him as a player, you could call up one of this man as something that you like, you love to have on your side, because we could see when Mbokazi broke into the team, he would give out pointers to him here and there. Would say, no, this is how this works. This is what you do. Besides Mbokazi having that innate talent, that something in him shows him what to do, but he needed guidance, because people will say, wow, this one, he will not be here for long. But with the natural talent that he had and the guidance of Spies, he became a wonder. Yeah, Spies was an integral part in the beginning of Mbokazi's career, because it's one of those who you have as your guidance is one of the things that will make you or break you when you're studying something new. So we are glad that he was there to guide him throughout the beginning of his career, and he helped make him the man he became to be and the player he became to be, who is loved by all of South Africa. But one, even when some of y'all don't love Botlela like that, but hey, we don't care. We don't care. We love him. We don't care. Do we care? No, we don't. So you can, yeah, let's not do that.
one of his big attributes is very, very proud of him, very, very proud. I think one of his big attributes is his confidence and his ability of not being afraid, you know, regardless of the stage.
They've got a Zulu guy. Zulus are known for humility. Zulus are very brave, fearless. Zulus are very honest, very dedicated, but they can fight till the end. Zulus will always give the commitment. It's one nation in the whole country where if you know there's a Zulu, there could be a fight, there could be peace. So if you are peaceful, you will find peace. But if you want a fight, equally the same.
Him being Zulu, you know, us in Zulu people, you know, we have this mentality or this attitude of not wanting to fail, you know, not wanting to fail. No matter how big the task is, you know, we're ready to give it our all.
Mina nalokho kuyangisiza ngoba sikhule ngendlela engafani futhi abanye umuntu nomuntu unenkulumo yakhe ayikhulumayo nala suka khona, nami ngisuka la angisuka khona. Mina le eyobuZulu ngibona ngathi umZulu kuba kancane ukuthi impilo yakho ibe lula. Ngibonile ukuthi empilweni lokhu kuncane lokhu ngitholile ngisemncane, ngibonile ukuthi khona uma ufuna into angeke uze kube lula.
You know, when you do subtitles, this is my issue with some people who do subtitles. This line was here for like 20 to 30 seconds, and he said a lot in that time, but they just pulled this line, which kind of diluted everything into how many words are there? 10 words is diluted from a paragraph that he said to this. So when you do subtitles, get I don't want to say professional, but yeah, because this was done by a professional, but get a better professional to do it. Because chief, when you are a club with, okay, you're not that big, you're just starting out, but as big as a club that you are, do better, do justice for the man, because clearly you decided to dedicate a documentary to him and Puso, but subtitling a South African language, like especially Zulu, you can't walk around it, because now some things are being missed there that are being said, because you are too lazy to get a person who will do a better job. So I don't know if you're watching this, but if you get this,
ngisemncane ngibone ukuthi khona uma ufuna into angeke uze kube lula, kumele uqine uma ufuna into, kumele ube strong la ekhanda, kumele uyithembe uma ufuna into. Manje ngibona ukuthi kungisizile mina kuba umZulu, ngoba angazi ukuthi ngaba luphi ulimi ngakuzoba inkinga, kanti la ngikhule khona ngikhule kanzima, kwangiqinisa ukukhula kwami kanzima. Yikho ngabona ukuthi uma empilweni ayikho into ozoyithola ihleli phansi, kumele uzame ulwe, kumele uyithembe. Nayo lo nto esizile futhi esiza amaZulu, ngizokhulumela amaZulu, ngikhulumela abantu abangathi basizwa yini. Ngeke into ingenzeki uma unenhloso ukuthi uyayifuna ngempela leyo nto. Khona kungenzeka mancane amathuba ukuthi ingenzeki, kodwa uma uyilangazelele into uyifuna ngale ndlela yokuthi isenhlizweni yakho, ngiyathemba ukuthi leyo nto izophumelela.
This don't underestimate the man who plays with this. This food alone has 500 goals, 600 assists with this. Clap. 500 plus goals from 1,000 assists, because there's a pass that comes from this that is unlike any other. So don't sleep on that.
Bafana means, to me, it's a national team that plays.
The weird thing that they do in documentaries, they'll ask you the question, but they won't keep it in the documentary, because you can tell with how especially a South African reacts to questions. So this man was just asked the question, so he was thinking, and he had to translate from his original language to his native language, to his home language, translate from his home language to English. So that Bafana, he was looking for 10 words there. Just keep in mind.
For South Africa, it's like our soldiers. We must always support them whenever they are in a good space or in a bad space.
Bafana, it means like when all of us were united about, like maybe Amaxhosa, Zulus about coming together about to make it to form a squad.
For me, I think I see him as probably a future Bafana captain.
Yo, being a South African is a special experience. There's no way in the world you find a man who get around with, especially like a T-shirt of this high quality, who get around with a tag. Only in South Africa you'll find a man who get around with a tag, because here they are suspicious, and people will ask you, therefore, is that from Studio 88?
And for the South African lineup tonight, Mbekezeli and Mbokazi is back. Bafana in their new away strip in that rich, dark green kit. Mbokazi as a midfielder. He's going to have a goal! Mbokazi scores a blinder!
Yes.
Welcome back home! Welcome back with a banger! Cape Town erupts! Truly beyond his years. A young legend stands before us, I tell you. Mbekezeli and Mbokazi brought the house down. You are not stopping that. That is Chicago Fire.
There's been a shift, especially with the Under-22 initiative in the MLS. It opens the door for especially African talent. Find a player like Mbekezeli Mbokazi, Puso Dithejane, just at that right age, the ripe age between transitioning into a top-level footballer, and then they take them to the MLS. So from that point of view, it's a perfect stepping stone. And a lot of them in the next 4 or 5 years could very well be playing in Europe, in America. They probably thought they were getting 2 kids from the South African Premier League and are showing potential, but what they didn't know that they were also inheriting South Africa, Orlando Pirates fans, neutral fans, even Kaizer Chiefs fans or Sundowns fans or whichever football lover that follows Bafana and know, especially TLB. Credit to...
Yeah, one thing they didn't expect is when you sign TLB, you open the floodgates. And like when they do anything associated with South African, you are opening the floodgates because we will come. We will follow you. You will camp in your comments because you can't scroll 5 comments without seeing a South African in Chicago as comments. They live there now, permanent residents.
That follows Bafana and know, especially TLB. Credit to the Chicago Fire's scouting department as well. There was a clear strategy there to go to South Africa, assess which players have potential. They've struck gold, essentially.
It has opened up a lot of doors, you know. It shows that like it's a league that people can also like look at, and it can also like inspire like players to play there, you know. I also like the team, you know, like they also show their players, they appreciate them, you know, like they push them like, yo guys, like we have a national treasures here, and they make them feel special, you know, and which is such a nice thing, going to like a different environment and they celebrate you like that as a young player. It's such a nice feeling.
I think such moves of Mbekezeli going to the MLS, it will also inspire them, you know, to dream even bigger. And I think we have a few guys there. We have Puso as well, we have Uhlongwane. And, you know, it just shows, you know, the quality and the caliber of the upcoming players. Who would have thought a boy from Hluhluwe will end up in the MLS in such a short space of time? With that kind of mentality, I think he'll really go far.
They're so good, and they keep on rising the country worldwide. And I'm proud of them, because they're taking a step forward for other players, and they're opening doors for us.
Life ya gago e o tlile mo for a purpose, so nje everything o itletse mo I dire a o ntse mpona na ai ke ba tsena no no ke batla bang respect fela, because kore the time ke fitla ke ne se so wa bon, so no ke batla nje ba bone for no ntwe ke tletse mo ase modlalo ke ntwe serious.
One way to describe your season so far?
Ai ya godimo ke ntse ke tla buang fela player ke batla go ba nyone gore
the strike is different.
Hey.
Something happening outside. Something is happening outside. Something happening. Something happening. Something happening.
batho ba ba tswang ko Christiana dintwana tse di tswang ko Christiana cause then nna nje ke batla go thusa dintwana di ska give up fela go tswang teng for ntho e ba e batlang ba kgona go achieve go re ne tsantse ba be pelo ya bone yotlhe mo nthong eo yone e nthusitse thata because ke motho ke kgona go communicate le ene like anytime cause ra tlhaloganya like language kore a di differe jwalo ke Motswana but then ke itse like ampo di language tsa go South Africa tsotlhe but then tselo santsane ke ithuta so nje ke pleletse for Mbokazi ke moZulu so nna ke itse Zulu sa khale ke ntse ke like ke ithuta Zulu re tlotla ka ntho tsa go SA ka gore tswang teng dilo tse di diragalang because of gore tswang teng gore ha o feta mo strateng kgona go bona tonki fela e feta gore dikgomo di feta fela but mo go different ha o bone dilo tseo go di bona fela go zoo wa tlhaloganya so nje gore go important go ba le motho o tswang go tswang teng o understandang di culture tsa South Africa ke ntho ya
ngoba
on that note, when they when they sign players from South Africa, as the one thing they should normalize doing is taking a player from take two. Don't take, especially if they are young, because one thing that our footballers who have returned from overseas have said, and every player says that you feel homesick, and when you have no one or with the challenges, and who will understand you, even how's a boy like the language of the country, because you could be anywhere. You need someone to have a sense of home, because you can't be there every day when a video call, because the time difference the better. So you need someone in the moment, like physically present there. So the duos, they should normalize doing that, because if you look at the past, most of our players, they come back after not even 5 seasons, 2-3 seasons, then they come back, especially with that, because they feel like they are alone, they feel like they have no one. So it's better for them to return than stay there and face body depression and all that, because there's a lot that goes on when you're a footballer. When you're not on the squad, on the matchday squad, and you're not, or maybe you were not on bench for the whole time. So you need someone in the moment who you can talk to in your language and who will understand you when you don't have to translate in your head and then speak to someone or what. So that helps. So they should normalize doing that.
Tsa South Africa ke ntho ya
ngoba isikhathi sami sokuqala so uzokuthi ngiphume ngaphandle eSouth Africa ngize ngizodlala kwamanye amazwe. Manje yona into ebinzima ngoba angeke kufane ukukhuluma kwami nomuntu engimficelana ukukhuluma kwami noPuso. Ngenze nje ngendlela eright and futhi ngifuna ukudlulela phambili maye khona amathuba ukuthi kukude la siwa khona ngoba bese ngisho ukuthi abantu bayakhuluma mangisuka lana manje ngihamba ngibuyele ekhaya nginganalutho ngizoba inhlekisi kanti lo msebenzi lona iwona okumele ngiubambe ngezandla zoyi2 sazi ukuthi siyasebenza la ngibona ukuthi ikhonto ezosisiza basinikile ithuba ukuthi besiveze ithina seliseleki manje ukuthi sibonakalise ukuthi leli thuba basinike lona besilidinga and futhi besideserve mhlawumbe kuningi okungenzakala lesingakwazi iyo into engihamba nayo ukuthi lokho okwenzakala manje khona okunye okungenzeka ngaphambili kunalokho
enter Mbekezeli and Mbokazi. Leading that back line, he has been
Sounds so
excellent.
awful. Because
underway.
What in your knowing that this man is South African and knowing that we like to enunciate our consonants. So would you think that it's right to call this man Mbokazi? Why? Why would you do that? Because it's been going on for a while now. I think the Mela season is like halfway through, something like that. So for the whole season, you see nothing wrong with calling this man Mbokazi. And they still do it. We'll give credit to those who make the effort to pronounce the name correctly, but people should do better. I have to go your gate. Hey, I'll be right back. 2 minutes. Yeah, boy, no.
In Chicago, Fire, 5 stripes. Big time Eastern Conference clash. Two very proud clubs going at it. Baez steps into it. A little bit too much on that one. Brady a little awkward. Lobjanidze to the middle. No goalkeeper. Off the line.
Mbokazi.
South Africa is over the moon about this young man. There is Mbokazi.
Certainly on the evidence of tonight, he is one of the best center backs in Major League Soccer.
And that is full time. The Chicago Fire can blast the Flames with their 3rd consecutive win. Mbekezeli and Mbokazi in this new look Chicago Fire defense that looks
something weird that they do in overseas. They use in front of every name of the team, because when they call our teams, you can see on social media and things like that, the Orlando Pirates, because we adopted naming our teams from that side, from overseas. So it's the Mamelodi Sundowns, the Kaizer Chiefs, because it's, I forgot the names of the things. The name of a team is normally a description of some sort and then a proper noun at the end. Not a proper noun, but a noun of some sort. The Orlando description of where they are from, and the Pirates is what they are. So it's a noun. The Kaizer, because of Kaizer Tabung and shit, and Chiefs, they are Chiefs of Kaizer. So yeah, fun fact. Randomly so.
It's like one of the very best in the league.
Mbokazi, machine.
No.
Machine.
You put it in your apartment, huh?
South Africa, we are a country of resilience.
It's a country alive with possibilities, and people need to really start believing that. As Africans, I think we all believe, that you are because I am. And it's easier for you to actually excel at anything if you've got, a group of people or a person that you can lean on and can actually be able to help you.
We qualified for the World Cup with 90% of the PSL players playing against a team like Nigeria, where all their players play like in Europe. Like, it gets to show that with how we play and we can use that as an advantage, like to our strength. You see a player young as Mbokazi and Dithejane, playing in that league. Players will get motivated and inspired, because of the stuff that they are doing.
It's more like you're going back to 2010. We have to go and take our points again, just to show them, in 2010 it was a mistake. Now we are ready for anything.
There's a lot of nostalgia. As fate would have it, it's a replica of the 2010 opening match.
Going to Mexico to have that game, Bafana Bafana, and Mexico opening that World Cup as well. It's almost like a full circle moment. South African football has struggled since 2010 to qualify for a World Cup. And this is going to be, I think a time for them to put a mark on what the country's doing, on what our football is doing. There's actually a hope and a belief that this group of players can actually take us to greater things than what we've seen in the last 16 years pretty much. This is a pivotal moment for us. It's going to put the eyes, from America, from Chicago, on South Africa. We've consumed basketball, we've consumed house music through Chicago for years now. When I first started liking basketball, it's because of Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. And I think there'll be almost that trade exchange of cultures that will be happening thanks to the move of these two boys going over there.
Not only are they playing a role in representing South Africa from a football point of view, but from culture as well, to show that you can leave South Africa and go make it big.
Umuntu uzofunda ezeyofa basho njalo abantu bamnyama sifunda size siyo yabo kuningi sikufundayo nolwazi sitholayo yabo manje ngiyabona ukuthi lokho engizobuya nakho ngale World Cup
izifundisa tasking
kuzoyinceda team kuzoyinceda lokho engizohamba nakho la kuzoyinceda team engiyakhona manje ngiyabona ukuthi asiqhubeke siphushe lapho esikhona kumele siede okunye ukuze sifike la esifuna ukufika khona hayi ukuthi contero ngesenzayo but igame negame khona ulwazi sithola content esifundayo ngibona ngathi lokho ezokwenza ukuthi lokho esikufundayo siqhubeke sithola okunye olunye ulwazi singenalo ngibona ngathi content ezosiza ukuthi sifinyelela sifuna ukuya khona ukuthi igame negame ukukhona into esifundayo ezolekelela thina as a team.
Yeah, what a